Okay, let us pray. Dear God, we thank you again for the new uh, class this week. We pray that you will be with us and help us to learn the important thing for the mission and for the pastor epistle. Guide us in everything. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Okay, you have any question concerning what we have learned so far? Okay, if not, let's go to chapter 6. Chapter 6 on mission will concentrate on the worldview, mean that how mission interact with the whole world. So when we talk about mission, we talk about people in different culture. You see that from the early church, all the apostles are Jew from Middle East. And when they're going out from Jerusalem, they will go out first. You might think that they will go out to the Roman or to the Greek, but in fact they don't. You might be surprised that everywhere that Paul go, the first place that he go is to the Jew in that city, the Jew in that country. So that's the point of connection. Before he can expand to the Greek, to the Roman, or to the Arab, he have to start with the Jew, because that is the contact point in another country. So he needs some Jew or some synagogue that he can go and share with them. And from that point on, he will expand to all the Gentiles who marry to the Jew or friend of the Jew or relate to those Jews that come to synagogue or become believer. So now it might be different from what we think that we send missionary to another country and we dump them there and they try to survive with a different culture, different people who they know nothing of. And a lot of time they fail. Why? Because they don't have any point of contact. They cannot start any relationship at all. So now we're going to talk more about how to relate to the different culture, tradition in another country. Here in this article, the author will give us some idea how to relate to all those things. The first article will talk about how to relate to different culture. They say that first thing you need to know yourself, become self-aware. Mean that a lot of missionaries are so innocent. Mean that they think that they know everything. And they think that it's easy work. It's just like going out and meet people and then become friends. They don't know that they go into a different world, that they don't understand anything at all. And the people, they don't understand them too. Worse than that, they might not trust them too. They are not friends. And in many situations, they think this is enemy. So they advise that know yourself. And second thing is educate yourself, mean that before you go anywhere, learn the most about those place, those people, those culture as much as you can. Communicate effectively, mean that you need to know how people in different culture they communicate. You might think that the way in America, we just speak what we want to speak. We just share our feeling, what we want to share. But in different culture, people might never share their feeling, never express what they feel. And how you know all these things? Well, you need to take time to learn how they communicate. We call non-verbal or body language. You can ask question, but they say that a lot of question is unpolite. So you need to be careful, something you cannot ask at all the way to ask directly or indirectly. So this is different culture have different way how to deal with question. Practice empathy and acceptance mean that try to be respectful, try to be humble, and accept whatever happens. Don't try to deny and don't try to say that, oh, I cannot take that. You need to learn how to accept it. This is different culture. This is not your home. This is other people, home and country. Avoid stereotyping mean that don't say that all Asian the same thing or all the Lao act the same thing. No, we are different. Everyone different. So you need to be careful how you think about people and how you react to people too. And the last advice they want you to know is be patient and flexible. Patience going to help you a lot. If you don't have enough patience, you cannot do this work. You cannot be a good missionary. Besides to be humble, you need to be very patient and flexible. Learn to adjust and accept a lot of changes, a lot of differences. This is some basic that most of the article from all the missionary will advise you. And now we will see that what is the obstacle, mean that to communicate between different culture, what is the barrier, the main thing that all the missionaries face all the time, and some advice. This is from the missionaries who are in the field for a long time, and a lot of them collect their idea, their advice here. Language differences. It's always, it's not just the different words they use, the way they speak and the way they use their language to communicate is so different. So the advice you is try to be short, clear, to the point. Don't speak something so long or so complicated, because when they transfer to another language, it might be even worse. So when you communicate to different group of people in different culture, in your own language or in another language, try to straightforward, in short, to the point. Because when you try to speak something around too long, people might misunderstood you, and you might miscommunicate what you try to say. The second thing is nonverbal, because psychologists say that we communicate just 20% by words. Another 80% is by they call body language, mean that you don't need to speak, but your eye contact, your hand movement, the way you stand, the way you walk, what is your facial expression is another 80% that communicate. And people can understand you correct or misunderstood you because the way you show your language, your body language to them. So be careful. Don't think that what you say will tell people what they want to hear. They read your body language. And if it is not the same thing, you have big problem. So be careful. Your body language speak louder than your words. And the prejudice, the stereotyping, prejudice, have to be careful. Don't think that everyone in this country are the same, or whatever they act always mean the same thing. No. We always say that each one is different. So need to understand each one correctly. And they call another problem, they call ethnocentrism. Centrism mean that the idea that we are better than them, that's why we come to help them. Well, they say that don't think that way. If you think that way, you cannot help them. People don't want anymore someone from far away try to teach them, to change them, and think that what you have is better than them. They cannot take it. So either it's correct or not, but you cannot let them think that way. You need to be open-minded and let them know that you just want to come to be their friend, to share what you know, and to offer something new to them. And they can have their own decision what they want or not. So this is something that a lot of experts advise missionary. And another thing is the way people communicate in different cultures are not the same way. You might say that some culture they speak so loud, or some culture they speak so fast, or some culture they keep quiet a lot. And that is the way they communicate. You need to learn how to communicate in different ways with them if you want to work with them. Don't try to change them or make them like you. And now another big problem that the missionary face all over the world is people attitude about time and hierarchy. What that means? If you come from American culture or Western culture, time is everything. When you say 2 o'clock, you expect 2 o'clock. But in many cultures, 2 o'clock doesn't mean much. Anything around that 1 or 2 hour different is nothing. So when you work with some culture, they say 1 o'clock, you can expect them from 12 to 5. So this is something that we American or in the Western world cannot understand Eastern world or culture. They don't call appointment by minute, but by what they think comfortable or convenient. So this is some main idea that the missionary have to learn the hard way. But for us, this is something that we need to learn in order to work with different group of people in different culture. And sometimes you might be surprised, even with your own culture, but in different country, it might be not the same thing. For example, if you are Asian in America for a long time and try to go back to your country, try to work with your people, and you think that you understand them, you might be surprised that no, you are American now, and they are still very Asian. You might think that you look outside the same thing, but inside you is not the same person anymore. And that a lot of problem. Okay, I will stop here a little bit and come to get your reflection or your thinking about how to work across culture, even with your own people in different country, in different time, in different generation, from different culture. Even you look the same and come from the same background, but after 20, 30 years, you might not be the same with them anymore. Okay, I will want you to reflect on what we learned so far. What is the main problem when you try to reach out to your own people in a different generation or your own people in different country? What's the main problem that you're facing now? You have something like them? Yes, Nathan?
John, I think it must be about second page. It's about be patient and be flexible. What does it mean flexible? In what way?
Well, they want you to be flexible in every way except your faith, your belief. You cannot compromise. But how you act in culturally, or how you eat, or how you befriend, a lot of things you need to be flexible. But you cannot compromise your belief.
อาจารย์ example anything will be okay, but just like eating meat that offered to sacrifice to the idol. How do you explain to them?
People open a lot. If you explain to them that from now on you don't eat the food that sacrificed to idol now, you might be surprised that a lot of them can take it. They understand that. At first, you might think that, oh, they will be offended or they don't like that. But I found out that when I told them, they can understand that. They accept it. But you can eat a lot of things that not sacrificed to idol, and they already happy with that.
Like if you go to somebody's house, but they make a pun for you and then they put the cooked blood in there. And I had somebody complain about that one before too. If your
Well,
friend,
the worst thing, you can just take the blood out.
yeah,
You don't need to eat the blood with it.
right.
Mm.
Yeah, because you try not to offend them, but you just take out the blood so you don't eat blood.
Yeah, you don't refill the whole bowl because that might not be the good idea.
Yeah.
Well, people understand when you try to let them know in advance what you can do, what you cannot do, but respect them, try to be, show them that you care and you respect and you want to be part of them. You do whatever you can do with them. Nowadays, a lot of people will say that, oh, I cannot eat this, I cannot eat that because of their health. And people don't understand that. You might be surprised that if you invite some young lady to eat with you, they might not eat a lot of your food.
Ajahn, Nathan said, what about, some people they're on diet.
Food on diet?
Some people they're on diet. They don't eat a lot of stuff.
Well, I have a lot of members who say they're on diet on certain day, not every day. They don't on diet when they come to church on Sunday. They eat everything.
Ajahn, we went somewhere and we heard this person that thinks that he knows Bible well, but he did encourage people saying that it's okay to eat the meat that offer to idol. Just pray before you eat. But I think that's wrong though. Yeah, the Bible clearly say that, but I heard he said that, and another time we went somewhere, and we saw this pastor eat the meat that already been also offered to the idol because it's a wedding. When you go to a non-believer's home, you know, pig is always offered, and then you can like me and Nathan, people like our close relative, they ask us to go eat. If something like that, we always ask. We talk to the person that we know closest to us. We kind of like, but a lot of times they know we don't eat. They say, "Oh, you can eat this. This is not have been offered. You can eat this. You can eat that." Like sometimes they make lap. They use another kind of meat, but they always go and cook it for us. They what do we not stir fry, saute to make it cook. for us. So we have to be very careful. I don't compromise. That's all I can say.
Well, Paul gives some advice, some standard. He said that if your conscience not against you, after you pray, you can eat. But if your conscience is against you, don't eat, because that's already wrong. Okay, that's the first advice. The second advice that Paul gives is, if you know that if you eat, some believer there will be offended, don't eat. You might not be wrong because you have freedom, but you're going to be wrong because you offend other believers, especially new believer. So Paul said, for the sake of a lot of people, he don't eat a lot of things. He don't want to offend a lot of people. So he sacrificed his freedom. So that two guidelines. First, your conscience. Secondly, another people offend or not. If you eat or don't eat.
But I think sometimes people they don't take their conscience seriously. I think they just don't know how to use it, or they're not aware, or maybe they around the relative, like you said, don't want to offend them. They compromise, But yeah, deep down we know that it's wrong. So we saw a lot of people they always compromise, and that is really sad to see. Yeah. I think they know, but I don't know. Maybe some people they don't even know what conscience mean. They just go and party and have fun and don't think much about.
Well, as the leader, I think you need to understand what you should do or what you should not do. It's not just for your own sake, it's for a lot of people that you take care of too. Especially when you work with different culture, it's going to be a lot of things. And in a lot of culture, to eat with them is to be their friend. But you have to be careful. And in many cultures, when you don't eat with them, it means that you refuse to be their friend. So that part of being a missionary, working with different culture, different group of people. Okay, you have any more comment or question? Okay, if not, we're going back to continue. Okay, communicating with people of different culture on the section 16 of the chapter. And in this new article, the author will say that in order to work successfully from your perspective with different culture, it demands you have a specific skill, knowledge, attitude to work with different group of people. So they say that you cannot just doing things by guessing. You need to learn about different culture, how they communicate and how they do things. And the first advice is self-awareness. Mean that you yourself know what you're doing, why you do it, and you educate yourself all the time. Respect and empathy. This will help you a lot. You show the people that you respect them, but sometimes you make mistake because you don't know or you misunderstood. But you are ready to learn and to change. Patience, flexibility, active listening. That will help. So this main article will give you some advice how to work with different group of people. How about the language, the differences? They say that speak slowly, clearly, in your own language or in another people's language, because you might not speak the language very well, or they don't understand your language very well. So they say speak clearly and slowly. Avoid slang, jargon, or idiom, mean that use simple sentence, simple words. Don't try to impress by say some difficult words because it's not helping. Writing down. Sometimes people see what you write down, help them understand you better. Or you understand them better if everything write down instead of speaking. And about the non-verbal, we say already that the non-verbal, with a lot of time we call body language. It's 80% when you communicate. And be careful how you show your face expression, your gesture, your hand, your feet, the way you walk is showing something about how you feel. And people can read it right or wrong. And have to be careful. When you see some people do something in different culture, you might feel that that is not polite. But from that culture perspective, it might be very okay. So you need to learn that different culture do different things, and some is acceptable, some is not acceptable. If you want to work with them, to be with them, you need to understand them and accept them the way they are. And it's always good to always ask questions if you don't know why or you are not sure. It's better to ask questions than guess wrong. It's always that way that people advise. And build trust. In order to gain that trust, you need to be that friend. You need to show your sincerity, friendship. And in many cultures, bring them a little gift will help a lot. It don't need to be expensive stuff. Just a little bit thing that you bring with you when you meet them, that will open a lot of door or bring more friendship. Apologize sincerely. We all can do mistake, but so it's always good to apologize upfront. Let them know that sometimes you might make mistake without knowing. So you ask them to help you to know when you do something that's not okay. Now we bring to another article, talk about how to spread the gospel to different culture. And what he talk about this topic. They talk about how to make disciple in different culture. That one point. Another point that they're talking about is how to build new churches so fast. So we call church planting project or CPM, church planting movements. So it's two different things. The first thing we talk about how to make a lot of disciples. Church planting movement is another thing. Church planting movement is to build new group of believers, but to make disciples is individually. You want to help believers to grow more stronger. But both of them go hand in hand in the mission field today. Last week I mentioned that in the next 20 years, China is going to be number one country, Christian country in the world. But now the new statistic coming out that it's not 20 years. It's just in 5 years. You heard me correctly. Now the new number coming out that in next 5 years, China is going to be number one Christian country in the world. The most Christian in the world will be in China in the next 5 years. Unbelievable fast. So it's very interesting to know that how the Chinese church grows so fast and build believers so quick. Well, they use a lot of way, but we know one of the big secrets of China Christianity is house church. And later on, we will talk a little bit about the house church in China. Now, in this section, Jerry Rankin is the missionary of Southern Baptist for so long. And he wants to offer another perspective that why mission work in the field doesn't work well. They say that because we don't realize that we have a war with Satan. Wherever we go, we have to fight the war. And a lot of Christians and the missionary don't think that way. That's why they're not prepared. They're not ready for this war. So they're going out and lost because they didn't realize that they're going out to war with Satan. But Jerry Rankin wants to remind us that we're going out to war every day, fighting with Satan. Satan doesn't want us to save people. They want the world to be that way, so they can conquer the world, rule over the world, and bring them to hell with him. But Christian and the church try to stop that, try to save people as much as possible, to bring them back to God, to heaven. This is the war. But a lot of missionaries or the churches, Christian churches, is not ready and don't prepare for war. We just think that we're going out to have fun, to have a good time, but it's not the case. We are not prepared for war. And that's why we fail. That's why we doesn't do a good job. So he reminds us that we need to prepare for war and be ready and train our missionary how to fight this war. By depends on God and prepare with all the equipment that Paul talked about to protect ourselves and to help the people, bring them back to God. So the 2 points here is how to be prepared for this war. When we send our missionary out, our missionary ready or not for this war. And the second topic that I want you to think about is how church in China grows so fast. Even by the restriction from the government, the movement of the house church in China is still spreading, growing so fast, unbelievable fast, and very strong. So that's 2 main topics we're going to talk about after here. Okay, let's talk first about the house church in China. You have any knowledge or idea about the house church in China? where it starts, why it's growing so fast and very strong. The house church in China is the, well, you might call it illegal movement. The government don't accept the house church because the government cannot control them. The Chinese government allowed just the government church above ground that the government can control, a few of them. But the house church start by devout believer everywhere who want to teach and preach the real words of God. And they don't want the government to control them. So that's why they call themselves underground church, illegal church. And they preach the real words of God, and they're growing. And people keep joining them, 100,000 every day. Every day, thousands of Chinese people join the house church, new believers, thousands and thousands every day. Unbelievable. And why the house church movement so successful? No support from anywhere, only from God. And the sacrifice of Christian or the believer. And the government tried to stop them, but cannot. What they did right. Do you know that secret? Oh, Nathan, you have another son, grandson.
I think the secret is gather to have dinner together. Like one of the pastor that used to be the pastor of church, he opened called restaurant. Have all the family come and the worship after the restaurant close. That's how they do it to government. So that way they do the how and it's growing because people are not worship God freely in China. They have to do like underground. Yeah, that's part of the, all the student engineer come to study in America. All those engineer students come, to church, and I think Chinese church in Ronald Park also, been there for so long. Yeah.
Yeah, they say that the house church in China lead by just simple believer who love God so much and just want to share the love of God with their neighbor, with their family. You're right. That called the house church means that they meet in the house. And it's just like a family. They eat together, they share what they know, they pray for one another, and they love one another as family. And that's a success. It's not the organized big church at all. And you know that from the early church in Jerusalem, the early church is the house church too. The church in Jerusalem don't have their own building. They meet in the house of believers, and they share dinner every day. And they pray for one another, and they treat one another as their own family. And that's why they call house church or a family church. You might think that we have to go back that way to copy them or imitate them, their success. You know that in America, we try to do the house church for so many years, but no success. Why?
I think people like to be on their own independent. You look at the Asian, like a Chinese church or Mian church. Once the clan as a family together, and they all, come as big family and relative. It's like for the American, it's like, you're on your own, basically.
You know that America is not this way 50 years ago. It just allowed some 50 years ago America changed. This is not the real original American. The belief in individualism mean that I don't care about you, you don't care about me, I live my own life. This is something new in America in the past 50 years. Or some people may say that 70 years ago. It starts 70 years ago. And this destroy American family. So now you know the secret of the house church. Mean that they meet in their house. They treat everyone as their own family. They share dinner. And they suffer together. They love each one as their own family. And this is the secret of their growth and their success. And now look back at us. We have Asian background. We know the family well. But after stay here too long, we become American now. A lot of things we accept as American doesn't help much. You think that we can go back to learn the house church movement in modern day America?
Is that a good idea?
Well, it's the best idea if we can do it. Because the original church start that way.
Mm.
The church in the book of Acts in Jerusalem is that kind of church.
In Vietnam and in Laos, still same thing like before in Jerusalem, Ajahn, in house church. So everybody get together in the house. So first we thought that as the government don't allow, but I believe the government already allow, but they still in together in the house,
But in the south, they have big church.
Yeah, that's what the South, they already,
Yes,
what
South
government fully, what legal for people to have their own church. But in the North, still some, what the government, soldier, police can, make a disturb by, what a small church. That's why they have to get together in the house.
Build the house and then they worship over there.
Then, Ajahn, that means in the future, in 5 years, China will be number one in the world. Like we are the number one, right now in the USA, right, Ajahn?
Well, I'm not so sure that Americans are number one.
I just saw it about 2 days ago. I see that we do have a population totals of 240 something millions, but we do have a Christian 230 millions. So they put USA very, very tall, pole, number one. Philippines probably number two.
Mm.
That's the chart.
Yeah. So the statistic is just they ask the people what religion you have. So most Americans will say they are Christian, even they never go to church.
Absolutely right, John. Maybe 2-3 times only. Born, married, die.
Dedication.
Ajahn,
Yes.
I heard that Francis Chan, he had his big church, but he decided to move away from that, get out from that church, and I think he moved to San Francisco. And he started a little tiny church. I think he's doing some kind of house church. I don't know if house church in person or in Zoom.
I think he have both.
Okay. I heard he said that he had few members. He said, I expect you guys go and do the same thing like I'm doing. That's what he expect other people do the same thing. That's what he said.
Yeah, he want people to open their own house and get their family, friend together to build a new church, house church everywhere, instead of one big church.
John, I have a question.
Yes.
So the credit course that we're taking right now is Intro to Mission and Pastoral Epistles, right?
Yes.
Do you think you can let me know the course number so I could fill out the sheet?
Oh. You get my email about each class?
Yeah, I'm looking at the email right now, but it doesn't have the class number. All I see is Intro to Mission and Pastoral.
Okay. Let's see, I have the number with me or not. Many of you have the course with you?
Let me check, Ajahn.
The number I got for Intro to Mission is CLI 1211.
Okay, thank you.
I write
What about the second one? Do you know the one for Pastoral Epistles?
no, not that one, no.
Okay.
Let me check. I might have somewhere.
Where is that? Francis Chan is come back from Hong Kong again? Francis Chan? From where? I believe he went back to Hong Kong in 2023.
I don't know.
I met him in Rockland in Sacramento over there, Rockland. He preached over there last night, and then that's like entertainment, and then like movie. Wow, that's kind of big. So he said that's last night, and then he went back to Hong Kong, and I heard
Not that long. He
I
come
heard
back.
my son said he come back again because they don't accept me over there.
Yeah, Pastor Bo, he's famous. I think he preaches good.
Yep.
Okay, the code for pastoral epistle is CLS 2382.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Can you write it on the chat, please? Thank you.
Okay. Okay. So do you think that is the secret of Chinese Christian, that why they grow so fast because of the house church?
Yeah, John, that's a big secret. Yeah.
And why we cannot do the same thing in America?
We just want to be comfortable, John.
Mm. I used to ask some American pastor, why don't you do the house church in America? And you know what they answer me? Nobody want to clean up their house every week and invite people to mess up their house.
Yeah. People will say, yeah, I have a 6-bedroom house, but my house too small.
So it means that if you want to use your house to be a house church, it means that you're ready to sacrifice your comfortable, your privacy, and people come to mess up your house every week. Okay, I send the code to the chat. If you need the code, it's in the chat now. So you believe that the big problem in America is nobody want to mess up their own house. You think this is a good answer? Well, this is one of the biggest problems. And people say that why don't go to use the church? The church is not the same thing. You can send people to church once a week already enough. They don't want to go more than once a week. But at the house church, they can come every day, anytime. In China, it happened that way. Every day, anytime. Because they feel that this is their house too. Okay, beside the house church in China, that's the secret. What else you think that why the mission work in China goes so well, so successful? Well, people say that the second thing is the church got persecuted. The Christian is outlaw. And wherever the church is persecuted or the Christian is outlaw, the church keep growing. throughout 2,000 years of church history, wherever the government suppressed the church or kill believer, the church growing. But wherever the government allow Christianity or support the church dying. So it's opposite what we think. So now what that mean? For your church to grow, what we need to pray for? Or the success of the missionary that we send out. What is the secret? They need to suffer. Without suffering, they're not growing. So, but we don't pray for suffering. We just pray for easy life. We just pray for blessing. We just pray for happiness. And that's why we're not growing.
Why do you boast about it? When we understand our purpose rightly.
Will anyone dare to pray for suffering, persecution? I think nobody wants it. You see, I have been pastor for almost 50 years. I never heard anyone come to me and ask me to pray for suffering or persecution. Everyone just asked me to pray for happiness, success, blessing. Okay, if you don't have anything else, I have to go to another chapter. Let's see. Chapter 7. Chapter 7 is similar to chapter 6. It's just the expansion that how the modern day mission work can go all over the world in different culture, in different situation. It will have similar advice for the missionary and for the church that want to go out to the world. We need to learn about different culture, different way to work with different group of people, and be flexible, adjustable, and respect other people's culture. So it's similar advice. And another more advice will be for the missionary to be patient, because a lot of people think that in a few years they can build a church or they can bring a lot of people to salvation. But in another different culture, different country, the missionary might work 20 years without a single convert. And that happens all the time. Or maybe you work your whole life in a certain country and you cannot make one believer at all. Mean that you fail? No. It means that your job is the preparation. Another missionary, the second generation, might come and bring a lot of people to salvation, because your job is to prepare their heart. The second generation missionary come to reap the harvest. And Paul said that the one who prepared the soil, the one who sow, and the one who reap get the same pay, because we work as a team. You cannot reap all the success without someone come to prepare the soil before you. So we work as a team. You might be the one that God sent first. You don't see any result in your 20, 30, 40 years of mission work. But you have done your work. You have done your job. And here in this article, in this chapter, we'll say that you need to be a lot of patience, understand all the situation, you know your calling, Do your best and don't compare your work with a different group of people, because we have different calling and we do different job. And in this chapter, we'll talk more deeper about how you live with the native people where God sent you. Live like them, eat like them, be one of them. And that's a big secret. A lot of American missionaries, when they're going out to the world, they don't live like the native people. They don't eat their food. They make themselves different from the people, and that's their failure. So this is one big thing. We need to be part of the people we work with. Eat like them, live like them, become one of them. And that is the important thing that a lot of missionaries cannot do it. Besides learning more about them, try to be part of them, part of their life, tradition, culture. And you know that the world just doesn't mean just Asia or Africa. It also means Jew, Islam, Hinduism, and many other religions too. A lot of missionaries just think about Asia and Africa who need God, but in fact, in the near future, Europe will be a mission field. You know that today, very few Christians left in Europe, a real Christian. There are a lot of big churches that become museum, and nobody worship there anymore. And it's sad. So we might have to send missionaries back to Europe to revive the church. And the Christian over there need to change. They are Christian just by name. They don't have a Christian life at all. And in the chapter, they talk about missionary again. Apostle, they use the word apostle. Apostle in Greek means the one who sent out, the one who was sent out. And this is the real meaning of missionary. The one that God sent out to preach the good news. Anyone that God sent out, we call apostle or missionary today. And in fact, all Christians can be apostle in that sense, or be a missionary in one sense. Mean that God sent them out to share the good news to the world. And don't say that I am not, you are. If you are Jesus' disciple, you are apostle. You are missionary of God. And in the last article in this chapter, the article will talk about how to pray for the mission work, pray for the missionary. And this is important. The success of their work depends on your prayer. It's not depends on how good they are. It depends on how much you pray for them or how good you pray for them. Why? We go back to the concept that they're going out to war, spiritual war. And it's not fighting with a gun or swords. It's fight with prayer. Satan tried to stop the mission work, but God will help the missionary and all of us if we pray enough, prepare enough, and be with the way that God wants us to do the work, not our way, but the way of God. How to do that? Pray a lot. Pray for the missionary, pray for their work, and pray for all the things that they need. Pray for the people that God will open their heart, their mind, and to accept the good news. And in the last article, they will specify what you should pray for. First, they say that pray for the will of God. You cannot do anything against His will. His will be done. Well, we believe that His will is want people to be saved and want people to come back to God. So when you pray for God will be done in a certain country, your work will be fulfilled too. Acknowledge God's ownership of the mission. It's not your mission. It's not your project. It's God. If God owns it, He take care of it. If it's yours, you do it yourself. Pray for the missionary who going out to the field. They need a lot of prayer. They're going to war. And they need to be ready, prepare all the time to fight that war. They need to endure all the difficult work, know in their mind what God using them for, and develop, work hard, be equipped. And pray for the mission itself, the people in the field, the people of the church who support the missionary. And personal commitment means that everyone who take part in that project, we need to sacrifice. Not just the missionary in the field, but everyone who get involved need to sacrifice to make it work. If you depend just on the missionary, they will fail. And the last point, they say, pray on the power of God. The success comes from God. And we need God's power to do this thing, to be successful. So this is what all the missionary. Mike Bennett is another missionary who in the field for a long time, and he know that he need a lot of prayer. When he going out in the field, he feel that he cannot do anything without all the prayer from the people who send him out, who support him. He need more prayer than more than money that people send him out. And he know that success comes from God, not from him or anything else. So prayer is still a key resource that we ignore for so long. Keep praying regularly and pray specifically for the missionary and that work. Okay. A few things that I want you to reflect is about how to pray to the mission work, to the missionary. And we are apostle, we are missionary. That the second topic. So how do you think about the first one? Pray. I met quite a few missionaries who just want money. And very few really ask for prayer. A lot of them just need money. Well, I know they need money, but I think they need more prayer from the people. For example, if you were a missionary that they send you out to somewhere and you need people help, what you need most?
Pray.
Why?
Only God can make things happen. So we need God first. If we have God, the need will become.
Yeah, money cannot buy anything. You need some money, but you need more is prayer. It's the work of God. But we need to work with God too to make it successful. Why a lot of modern missionaries just beg for money? Well, for them it might be this is urgent. To survive in another land. So the Southern Baptists make sure that their missionary have plenty of money. They have a good house, their kids go to good school, they have good food on their table every day. They don't need to worry about money. But why their work is not so successful?
Ajahn,
Yes.
among all the denominations, which one is more mission-minded?
Well, it's difficult to say, but if you talk about the number, the Southern Baptist, modern day Southern Baptists send the most missionary compared to every denomination. The Southern Baptists send the most. Career, volunteer, long term, short term, the Southern Baptists send the most. 10 of thousands.
And Southern Baptist, the biggest too, huh?
In America, yes.
Ajahn, what do you think if the church send a missionary to other countries and the missionary were not able to convert any believers? He's working hard, but he's not successfully convert any believers. You think the sponsors will keep sponsoring him or say, oh no, even though you're working really hard, but you're not doing any good. Come home. Would they do that? Or just to keep, they would just say, okay, keep sowing the seed and God will work on it.
You see, every mission organization want to see number. And in all monthly report, they want to see number increasing. If your number not increasing, they say you did not do a good job. So I think we're wrong. The organization just emphasize too much on the number. So the missionary need to make number.
I think what you can do, we can bribe them, Ajahn.
I don't know that they have to make up number for the organization to see or not. I
I'm
see
sure
the form.
but some might have done it, huh, Ajahn? Some just say,
Because I have seen the form, they have to send in how many visitation you do, how many conversion you have, how many baptism you have this month or this year, how much money donation come in. It's all number. The pressure is so high for the missionary to make up number. But as you say, in some situation, for 20, 30 years, no baptism, no conversion, no new member. And what you're going to do? Call them back? Say that you fail? Do you know that Thailand is one of the countries that almost no conversion, no baptism? But should you stop the missionary, call them back and say that forget Thailand? It's a very difficult country. But we thank God that a lot of missionaries still there, even it's difficult. Now I put a question more personal. If you were sent out and if you were a missionary somewhere, and after many years you cannot bring any soul to salvation, you don't baptize any single one for many years, will you keep going or you quit?
Keep going, I think. I believe
Well, that's
that.
good answer, but the reality is most missionaries will quit.
Because somewhere, somehow, maybe God doesn't answer yet. Keep doing, keep praying until God answer.
So what reality why a lot of missionaries quit?
Maybe they just pray so hard, but God doesn't answer them. They just quit. They didn't do the right thing, maybe.
A lot of pressure from the organization, from their own family, and personal expectation. The pressure is so high. So most missionaries, after many years of no result, they will quit. They feel that they fail. And the system did not give them another chance.
Personally, if I'm a missionary over there, and then if I'm not bringing in a new believer, I will reflect myself. What have I, what I'm doing wrong that it's not working? Like maybe it's my communication or how I do things, and I would ship myself back, you could say, so that I could reflect and learn, and then maybe in the future go back.
Yeah, I think we can try everything. Let me put the reality here. You know the history of the Mien work in Thailand and Laos? The missionary who worked with the Mien in Thailand for many years, 10, 20 years, I don't know, the first many years, no believer at all.
That's why I almost mentioned about that, Ajahn. Yes.
Yeah.
Plus, you know what, in Laos, I believe in Laos, in the North Port, that I know who did try to, you know what, take out the missionary. I believe that it could be Thai-Lao.
That's your uncle.
Don't say that's my uncle, okay?
That's your uncle.
Yeah. So, but now the success, see, a lot of Mien people moved to USA, in Laos, in Thailand, bunch of them, yeah.
But in Thailand, after more than almost 200 years, still less than 1% of Thai are Christian.
Yep, those we don't talk about. We talk about the Hill tribe people, Hmong, Mien, Kliang, Muser, all those in North Port, pretty much.
And yes, Nathan.
Question. How Lao and Thai became Buddhist, knowing that Buddha is not supposed to be Thai and Laos relations in it. The way I see it is India, not Lao and Thai's culture.
Well, Thai used to live in China. Thai just moved down south about 700 years ago. And when the Thai moved down, Thai is not Buddhist. Thai is animism, mean that worship ancestor or spirit, like the Mien. But the Cambodian already Buddhist down here. And the Thai adopt Buddhism from the Cambodia. from the Burmese. So it's not originally. Thai just became Buddhist about 500-600 years ago.
And so how did Cambodia became Buddhist from India?
Yeah, they believe that the monk from India came to Cambodia and that maybe more than 1,000 years ago.
Yeah, it's believable because they have impressive temple. Okay, makes sense, yeah.
Yeah. So the Cambodia kingdom already there before the Thai moved down south from China. But now the war going on that whose land belong to whom? Well, it depends on what time you're talking about. And now they say that the people who lived in Cambodia 1,000 years ago are not real modern Cambodia. They are the old people who disappeared a long time ago. It's like they say that who built the kingdom of Maya in Mexico, in South America. They say they are not the native people who live in Mexico today. They say those people already disappear. Anyway,
how many years in the Mexico Maya, John?
oh, that's several thousand years ago.
The same thing like the pyramid, right?
Yeah, pyramid in Egypt is almost 5,000 years ago.
Yeah.
And all the Maya lived in Mexico that several thousand years ago too. Unbelievable, huh? They built similar pyramid.
Yep. But very shorter than pyramid.
But they far away from each other. But the design
Yeah, same
is
thing. It's almost same thing. Yeah.
I just realized that the schedule I sent you have the wrong date of today. Today is the 15th. Let's see, today is 16 already. Yeah, section 4 supposed to be January 16, but I put 11 there. Well, the good thing that you still come to the right day. So we will have 2 more weeks before I go on the mission trip to Thailand, to Asia. But you already have all the lecture note and you can continue. So your study group, Kong Sai, will stop by in Thailand too?
What's that, Ajahn?
Will you stop in February and March?
Oh no, we gonna continue, Ajahn, because we feel that we need to make up. Yeah.
Okay, that's good.
Okay.
Okay, you have any more questions before I give you a break for this class? Okay, if not, let's pray and I will give you a 20-minute break. Dear God, we thank you for the first class, what we have learned about mission and everything. Help us to use it for your kingdom and for your church. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. Okay, I will shut down and you come back.
That's 7:40.
Yeah.